Alright, welcome to 3.2 Deck Creation. We're here in the home screen, and we'll find the deck button. Now, if you just loaded this game, what you'll see here is your standard battle groups. At one point you could actually edit these. You no longer can. If you're comfortable with one of these groups, you can always just copy it. It'll give you a copy here that'll show up somewhere. Yeah, so okay, and then you can edit that. We're going to start right from scratch. Let's do a NATO deck. We'll give it a name. Not going to get into bonuses today. That'll be the next version. So we've created a NATO deck. This will give us access to all NATO units except prototype units. If you want prototype units like the Apache and the Nighthawk, then you have to go nation specific, and you'll see that it says prototype units unlocked. Then you're limited to only the US units. Additionally, if you select a national deck, you'll get +2 activation points. We'll get into that in just a minute. So here's just a vanilla NATO deck. It's created and it shows up here in your list of decks. You see I have a number already created. And then here's the main deck screen. This is really nice because later on, if you want to do a print screen or a screen capture of your deck and share it with your buddies, it's all ready to go. In Wii, you couldn't see your whole deck on one screen. So what are we talking about here? Activation points, we need to know that. 0 out of 35. And then all these cost 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. That's an activation point. So this, if I put a unit in one of these slots, it will take up 1 activation point. So, for example, if you want to have a fob in your deck, you've got to put it in. I don't play with fobs simply because it gives me 10,000 supplies. And for example, if I want to select Hemets, that'll give me 8 Hemets times 1,500. That's 1,200 supplies for the same slot. So money doesn't seem to be an issue in this game. I don't play with fobs, but it doesn't matter. We're building the deck. We're having fun. There you go. So 2 activation points out of 35 are now taken up. And you can see if I put a command vehicle. Now, if you don't put a command vehicle in your deck, it'll just give you 1 of the Jeep commands to start with each game. But, you know, try to be a team player and throw some command vehicles in your deck. Even the armored ones are much better, right? So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 35 activation points. Now the next time I put in a unit here in logistics, it will take up 2. So we have 3. I'm going to add another supply truck. That took up 2. That's 5. So now I have 30 slots left to fill, and that's cost value. Okay, so we can go over to infantry, and okay, let's click on Milan F2. It's a great unit. Now what you're going to notice here is that in Wii, in European Escalation, you know, we could, for a higher price, we could pay for hardened veteran or elite on the battlefield. Now you're limited to either bringing in 8 in as trained or 4 in as hardened. And I will tell you it's a multiplier effect, so hardened is definitely better than trained, veteran is definitely better than hardened. The other thing is, too, your units will level up on the field. So if you bring them in as trained, they score a hit on something, they score a kill, they will level up. Something to consider. Another thing to consider here is if you're making a 1v1 deck, it's highly unlikely that, now you might bring in 8 F2 Milans. I don't know. But in 1v1, where the point objective is relatively low compared to total destruction and no time limit, you may want to bring in the very best units possible. And if we're looking at a NATO deck, not only can I bring in the F2s, but I can bring in the best ATGM unit in the game by far. I would say that would be it's the Swedish RBS. There we are. Look at that, a 10 and 26 AP power. A direct hit on the front of a T-80U will take it down to half health. Side or rear could potentially one-shot it. So there you go. Oh, whoops, I brought those in as, they're really good at train. But again, what you want to consider, here, let's just delete that. what you want to consider is, do I want to bring in 8 or 4? So if I'm building a deck for, let's say, total destruction, no time limit, I want as many units as possible, because I don't want to be 1 hour into the game and running out of units. So you can see that took up 1 plus our logistics. It's 5. Now we have 7 slots out of 35 taken up. And we're going to leave it at that for this video. We'll continuously build this deck in some of the other videos. In the next one, we'll get into support units, tanks, and recon. Thank you very much. Have a good day.